we'll go back to your point. Two town mayors shot dead 1 day apart. Now there is growing fear among the citizenry. Anyone can be a target. I'm Pio Ontiveros. This is On the Record. Joining us in this episode, Senior Superintendent Bong Durana, spokesperson of the Philippine National Police, and Norman Cabrera of the Gundes Society of the Philippines. Colonel Durana and Mr. Cabrera, thank you very much for being here. Well, let's begin with Colonel Durana. Can you tell us the very latest on the investigations into the killings of the two mayors, so Mayor Antonio Halili of Tanawan, Batangas, and Mayor Ferdinand Bote of General Tino in Nueva Ecija?
First of all, Pia, good evening. So far, as far as we're concerned, we have already, a number of motives that our investigators have come up with. The killing of Mayor Bote and the killing of Mayor Halili. Just this morning, the regional director Carranza of Calabarzon Police, they have conducted what we call a walkthrough or reenactment of the incident, so that they'll have a clearer picture of what really transpired during that unfortunate and tragic incident. But let me emphasize, Pia, that the Philippine National Police under the leadership of General Bayalde is really serious of getting into the bottom of this particular case, Mayor Halili and that Bote, and of course in some other incidents involving our local chief executive.
Yeah, well, there's just that much, so much attention right now on both because, syempre, the impression that it brings on people kasi is, for example, yung kay Mayor Halili, nung nalaman ng taong bayan na, oh, he was on the drug list, he was on the narco list, no, and then yung kay Mayor Bote naman, ang unang tanong, was he on the drug list? Okay, he was not. And therefore, iba-ibang motive, no? Pero doon kay Mayor Halili kasi, syempre, and yung suspicion ng tao, halimbawa, si Senator Recto, no, saying very clearly na mukhang security forces ito. Talaga ang pinipinpoint, either pulis yan o sundalo. Bakit ganun yung why do people think that way?
Unfortunately, we acknowledge actually the comments of our good senator, but we don't. I think it's quite unfair to make a sweeping conclusion at this early stage of our investigation. Kaya nga po talagang we are saddened and deeply express our sympathy to the families of Mayor Halili, and with the promise that we will not rest until we get into the bottom of this case.
Okay.
So we have actually organized right after that incident happened last July 2. We have organized a special investigation task group to focus all our resources and all our attention to this type of incident that actually it has some negative impact on the perception of the crime situation here in our country. So that's why we focus our resources and attention to make sure that hopefully we can solve this problem anytime soon.
But the investigation, of course, also includes that possibility that pwedeng state security forces.
Of course,
as in all investigations. No?
As in all investigation, and we are not discounting that. And if indeed those who are involved are coming from our ranks, the administration of the Philippine National Police and the General Bayalde will not condone this kind of thing. But it's just, as of this moment, it's an allegation. It's quite unfair to the entire force of the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police to be, suspected of doing things. We are here in the business of serving and protecting the people, not doing such a thing. It's never a policy of the Philippine National Police to do this kind of thing.
Well, right now, there is, for example, just today, nilabas yung CCTV that was taken of two vehicles on the road, that dalawang sasakyan that were leaving the scene of the crime dun sa pagpatay kay Mayor Halili. There is also CCTV dun kay Mayor Bote. May nakuha mga basyo ba yun, no?
Yes,
basyo, halimbawa. So parang, so I mean, some people siguro are expecting a result some answers right away? Is that fair, or will you say? Are you saying here that give us some time? It may take some time for us to pinpoint suspects here.
Alam mo, Pia, sabi nga sa this is a basic principle in any uniform in any operations the police. Haste makes waste. So we want to be very methodical about this thing. Of course, we are quite happy that we are pursuing a lot of leads right now, and that CCTV
thank goodness for
footages.
CCTV, huh?
Yes, yeah. That's why we've been encouraging since time immemorial for the longest time that it is also a responsibility of the business community and other sectors of our society that CCTV camera is a very good crime deterrent, if not a tool for us to solve any crime incident efficiently.
Especially kailangan lang high definition ng camera.
Yeah,
para agad
of course.
makilala yung mukha, di ba?
Oh,
Kasi minsan pwedeng may CCTV, malabo naman yung camera, hindi naman makita yung mukha, di ba?
Yeah.
So kumbaga investment yon.
Investment. And then I think the technology is very cheap right now.
Right.
Available. Ang dami na po. Kaya nga, nagpapasalamat tayo. This is one tool that we are introducing other than the body cameras that we are getting right. So we can avail of all this technology, to enhance our capability to solve crimes, if not deter crimes in our society.
Okay, well, we have another guest also here today from the Gunless Society of the Philippines, Norman Cabrera. Mr. Cabrera, thank you very much for being here. First of all, let's begin with what your thoughts were when you heard about the killing of Mayor Halili and the killing of Mayor Bote.
Well, aside from the fact that these mayors are high-profile people, our view is that this is the norm in our country. No? It's practically a killing field. No?
When you say norms, sanay na tayo, ganun, na may napapatay?
Oh yes. In fact,
quite unfair.
I'm sure that the good superintendent, senior superintendent might agree with me that the Philippines ranked high, in terms of annual firearm-related deaths. No?
Ranked high among how many countries, and what rank were we?
In about 200 countries, we ranked 10 in the world.
Wow.
No? 9.46.
Minsan lang tayo mag-rank high, ano? Yan pa, okay.
9.46 deaths per 100 people. In 2012, the United Nations Office on Crime and Drugs placed the annual firearm-related death in the country at 8.5 per 100 people.
Okay.
That means if we are 100 million Filipinos, 9,000 or 8,000, more than 8,000 people die every year. And this is not too far from, I guess, the statistics of the Philippine National Police. No? So we say this is the norm in the country, and unless this is addressed, we are in a very big trouble. We know that violence has dire implications, not only in the citizens' physical security, but in the overall human security as well, and this includes economic security, food security, community security, and even political security. So what does that mean? This has impact not only on the primary role, peacekeeping role of the Philippine National Police to ensure a safe environment for everyone, where everybody is safe to work and do business, but it has implications on the overall agenda of the president, to advance this nation towards progress. So we feel that it is high time, and this should have been done a long time ago, and this has been the advocacy of gunless society for 30 years, that the matter of gun control, stricter gun control, be looked into.
You're saying the Philippines ranks very high
Yeah.
among so many countries when it comes to gun-related deaths, precisely because of our gun control laws?
Yes.
And do you call it gun control laws?
Well, in
What
fact,
is the earlier you were telling us what you really think it should be called?
well, the comprehensive gun law, for instance, Republic Act 10591 is sometimes being referred to, no, by government as a gun control law. No? But if you look at statistics, you know, it is guns are out of control. Why do I say that? Gunpolicy.org, for instance, which is a web resource, accessible web resource on published evidence on arms, no, puts the number of civilian-owned guns in the country at about 3.9 million.
3.9 million.
3.9 million, licit and illicit.
Okay, meaning yun yung registered firearms and
illegal.
loose firearms. At ano yung mas maraming registered?
But this is the thing.
Ano yung mas marami, registered or loose?
There is a report that says roughly 70% are illegal or is illegal.
Okay, well, before we go further, Colonel Durana, can you confirm that? Tama yun, 3.9 million, tapos about 70% of that illegal or loose firearms?
Well, I don't know the data sa nakinuha ng ating kasamaan po dito. But as far as I can recall, that I think we have a loose firearm something like 1 point something million. And if that right now we are looking into based on estimates, because loose firearm nga eh. Hindi mo ito ma-account, di ba? Estimates lang ito. Now, but we know for a fact nga yung mga registered firearms. So, 70%, I think that would be too high, too much of a stretch. But I think, Pia, siguro, tignan, I want to go back to what Norman said earlier. Nasabi, he's looking into the state of crime situation, security situation in our country from yung firearms-related deaths. So kami po sa law enforcement agency, we are not looking into the tools, the instrumentality of a crime, but also we are looking into the three elements: opportunity and motive, no? So yung while these firearms, no, firearms and proliferation of firearms may be one of the factors why, you know, we have this this kind of situation. Siguro isipin din po natin that based on the Gallup survey in 2018, the law and order here in our country is also already comparable to a more developed countries like Australia and South Korea.
Okay, talaga.
And you know, that's also a you know, Gallup. It's a independent foreign. And number two.
Wait, before the number two, Colonel Durana, we just need to take a short break or else magagalitan na ako. This is On the Record. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Delikado eh. Kailangan may drug test din yung mga kumukuha ng mga lisensya para sa baril.
Ang alam ko naman, nagmahigpit na ang PNP ngayon eh. Dahil lahat ng mga dapat na mga dokumento at saka mga test by, mga psycho-neuro, binibigay naman. Yun, control na yun eh. At saka yung kung sino-sino lang ang dapat nabigyan ng mga profesyon, control na yun.
Kahit po iko-control yan, marami kasing source eh, lumalabas din na nandyan pa rin eh. Wala ring mangyari. May lisensya matsa wala. Mandami po armas kasi. Kaya hindi po talaga makokontrol. Higpitan po ng gusto po. Dapat inspeksyonin lahat ng bahay. Para sure wala talagang wala po talagang ibig sabihin makakalusot na gagamitin para sa masama.
This is On the Record. Welcome back. Still with us, Senior Superintendent Bong Durana, spokesperson, PNP, and Norman Cabrera of the Gunless Society of the Philippines. Colonel Durana was saying the second point.
Second point is that based on the Pulse Asia survey, during the past 6 months as compared to the past 6 months prior to that, the victimization rate, crime rate went down by a full percentage point from 7.6 to 6.6. So the data would show that crime situation here in the country is improving. But of course, there are incidents like this one, Mayor Halili and Mayor Bote, that can grab the headlines, so to speak.
Of course, kasi
And,
mayor na yan eh.
Yes, and it creates a perception of that there is a rising crime incidents. But from a
Yeah, if you look at the index, etc., crime
it went
rate,
down,
everything went down except for.
Except for, let's say, homicide, I think, which is 10% increase last 2017 as compared to 2016. No? So, which means that, the anti-crime strategy of the Philippine National Police, although, this strategy may not solve all this problem, but at least the Philippine National Police is on top of the game, and we are managing well the crime situation here in our country.
How much are these in absolute terms?
Absolute term, I'm not, it's here in my data, but 1% is quite a big drop in terms of real numbers.
Yeah.
If we're talking about 8,000, 9,000 people dying every year in the country because of gun-related violence, that's definitely unacceptable.
Okay, and if it is unacceptable, that means the law for you is not good enough.
Yes, and I think I would like to say that I have high hopes, that the Philippine National Police is in a better position now compared to before to make the necessary recommendations.
Okay, when you say before, what do you mean by before? The past administration?
Past administration.
Okay, which is when this gun law was passed.
Yes,
right?
yes.
What is it in the gun law that you don't like? That helps the country rank so high when it comes to gun-related deaths?
Well, there are a number of gun proliferation components of that gun law.
Of the gun control law?
Of the gun control law. Number one, there are 5 new types of licenses in the present law. Type 1, more than 2 guns. You can own not more than 2 guns. Type 2, you can own not more than 5 guns. Type 3 license, you can own not more than 10 guns. Type 4 license, you can own not more than 15. And Type 5, you can own more than 15. That's infinity, Pia.
Yeah. Wait, that's correct, no, Colonel Durana?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
That's based on the law.
Yeah, more than 15. Ano yun? Bakit? Ano ka? Private army? Pag more than 15 ka? What would
for
someone,
gun
what would an
For
individual
gun
be doing?
collectors. Just
gun
like,
collectors.
collector of stamps, collectors of...
Pero naman, stamps and
well,
guns.
People can have different quirks, no? So
okay.
probably some people have these quirks on
Yeah,
firearms.
but
etc.
why would a law
Before
allow?
that, citizens are only allowed a maximum of 2, one long and one short. No?
Okay, yeah. The kind naman of firearms. In this gun control law,
Yeah.
what kind of firearms can for example, ako, gusto kong bumili ng baril. What can I buy?
Citizens can own small firearms,
Which is?
the pistols,
Pistol.
the 45
Caliber
maybe,
45.
all these things, handheld guns, no? And Class A light weapons.
Okay, when you say Class A light weapons, you're talking about
5.56 submachine gun.
submachine gun.
Yeah.
Why would not me? Why would somebody want?
Rifles.
For what?
Automatic rifles.
For what?
Well, probably.
If you're a gun collector?
I'm not a gun collector. I'm not really fond of firearms.
But who
To
would?
give light to ordinary
Yeah.
citizens on what type of guns citizens can own. No? There is a Class B, so we have small arms, Class A light weapon, and Class B light weapon. Okay. What's Class B light weapon? Ito Pia yung machine gun that can be operated by 2 or more persons.
Yun yung dala ng mga sundalo,
No?
halimbawa. No?
Rocket launchers,
Yeah.
bazookas, yung mga ganyang ginagamit sa giyera, no?
Yeah.
ng mga military.
Oh, yun lang ang hindi pwede.
Yun lang ang hindi pwedeng i-own.
Yeah.
No?
Okay.
All the rest, AK-47, automatic rifles, Armalite, no? Submachine guns, yun, pwede lang i-own
Okay.
yan.
And when you own a gun like that, hindi naman lahat ng tao who own guns have them licensed, right? Or have them registered.
Under the law, they
They
should
should
license
be,
that.
though, but-
Otherwise, they be violating RA 10591.
But not all are registered and licensed, right?
Although
Okay.
statistics still, there are still studies that says that of all licensed gun owners, 80% more or less own just one gun. The rest own more.
Okay.
More than that.
And
So
what would their
very few
yeah.
lang yung kwan.
Okay, so what would their profile be? Those who own more than 2 guns? And 15 and infinity and beyond?
According to the law, those who can own more than 15 are the type of collectors.
Collectors.
But what
Okay,
we're
but
saying-
you know, I mean, I'm sure hindi naman yung mga collectors ang namamaril dyan sa labas at nagko-commit ng murder or homicide, di ba?
But I go back to your point. No? That's why our proposition is to bring it back to 2. No? Because
That people should only be allowed to own just
yeah.
2 guns
yes,
maximum.
because
Okay.
this type of policy is promoting the proliferation of
Yeah.
private armies.
Oo,
and
2
all
guns
these
and
things.
what kind of weapons? Small firearms
Small
only.
firearms and maybe
So-
just the rifle
5.56.
should be enough.
Okay.
And the question there is, wouldn't this be better for the police's capacity
Yeah.
to control crime in the country?
Oh. Is this something that the PNP would like to look at? I mean, of course, laws are made by Congress, but since Congress always consults mga subject matter experts, and of course they would ask the Philippine National Police and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So, ilan bang dapat ang baril? Anong klaseng dapat baril ang hawak ng isang tao?
Totoo po yan. Dahil yung Philippine National Police, under the leadership of General Barialde, we actively listen to the people. No? So if there's a clamor for the amendments of 10591, we would actually journey with them, consult other stakeholders, not only the firearm industry, gun industry, but also people like Norman.
Yeah.
So that we can come up into a more polished and more effective firearms
But wouldn't
code.
it make policing easier if you had a gun control law that would not allow people to own kahit class A, small firearms lang, and definitely not more than 15 or less than 2 dapat. Parang ganon. In other words, to really parang clamp down on it na.
There not only that, hindi lang yan. Taking the instrumentalities of a crime from the people. I'm not saying that those who own guns are criminals, but if we encourage this kind of situation where a lot of firearms are in the hands of private individuals, who will be sure? Sino
Right.
bang it will
We're
not
going
be falling in the wrong hands.
We're going to a break now, but I mean, I remember when I was a junior reporter a long time ago, many sensational crimes, very crimes that took the attention of the public, were done by people who had registered firearms, di ba? So anyway, we'll take a short break first. This is On the Record on CNN Philippines. Stay with us. We're on the final stretch of On the Record, the last 2.5 minutes. So we're going to go into final words already. We'll go first with Gunless Society, Mr. Norman Cabrera.
Well, we'd like to say that, government resources are better spent on prevention rather than cure. There's a saying that goes, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure.
Okay. So
And-
you're saying that there will be less
Yes.
cure that the police have to do solving a crime
Yeah.
if we
Exactly.
address gun control measures.
And gun violence, without guns, there will be no such violence, no?
Or less
Yeah.
guns in the hands of people.
Correct. And if you want to control crime, you have to control the criminals. And if you want to control the criminals, you have to control guns. Kasama rito yung heavier penal provision sa batas, no? Unlike, especially now, yung use of loose firearms in the commission of a crime is just an aggravating circumstance.
Okay. Okay.
So, what we're trying to say is the future of the peace and order and peace in this country rests on our policymakers.
Yeah.
No?
Okay. And you're saying you just want less guns in the hands of people.
Yes,
I mean, like Senator Ping Lacson talking about walang may dalang baril in other countries
we have
except
to
the police on
discourage,
patrol,
including the
which is
carry-
ideally the situation, diba?
Excuse me. Yes, yes. And we have to learn lessons both from the US and Japan.
Okay. We need to go to Colonel Durana because you have 30 seconds.
Of course, you know, there are a lot of creative ways to address a problem, and that's one. But I think we really have, you know, all stakeholders, the gunless society, the gun industry, should come together and think about the future of this country, including we are just law enforcers. So whatever the law that is being passed by Congress, we,
That's what
we
you would
enforce
enforce.
it.
Okay.
But I
you
think
would,
we,
the PNP would like stricter gun laws, right?
definitely, the less firearms out
On the
there
streets,
will be,
the
you know,
better.
easier for us.
Okay, okay. And of course, policing, as far as the PNP is concerned, is not just a police matter,
Yeah.
but is everybody's concern.
Policing involves the community. It's not only the law enforcement agency. We are in it. We are all in this together. There should be a whole nation approach to address not only criminality but the overall crime situation in our
Okay,
country.
and in very practical terms, that means, like Senator Pinglas was saying, no, I mean, people should be reporting to the police if they see something, no?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Somebody
because
with a gun,
the
etc.
police is the community and the community is the police. Policing is not only about the police, the Philippine National Police. It's the responsibility of everybody.
All right. Those are your final words na, no?
Yeah.
Senior Superintendent Bong Durana, PNP spokesman, and Norman Cabrera, Gunless Society of the Philippines. Thank you very much for being here. Salamat po, sir. That is On the Record this week. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Thanks for watching.